Commence primary ignition.
I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
What a piece of junk.
Enterprise, this is the captain.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's all part of the plan.
Engage.
Welcome back to Podcast 241. I'm your host, Donovan Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
We are back, better than ever. Sure.
A little more tired, I'm honest. Yeah, today's a tired day for me.
It's been raining. It's kind of groggy
slow
down
motion,
here.
I know.
It's kind of weird, but we're here. We're trucking through. Got to give you guys the news that you guys keep asking for.
Because if you're not getting it from us, there's literally nowhere else on the internet
there's nowhere
that provides this kind of content
at all,
or this information
at all. So I mean,
only source
to start things off. Let's just kind of talk about what are we watching? Like what you've been watching lately?
Yeah. So just what I've been watching. I've been watching BoJack Horseman, the final part of the final season.
Who voices that? Is that the guy who does
it's
Batman?
Yeah, Lego Batman.
I can't think of his name.
Will Arnett. No, he's fantastic. I'm not finished with it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many episodes I have left. I haven't actually looked to see how many episodes it was, but I've watched, I think, 2 or 3. It's depressing, I guess, in the best ways. If you know BoJack, it's all about mental health, really, and depression and horrible things like that. But they put it on, obviously, in this hilarious world where everyone is animals. Well, some people are animals, and it has some amazing satire and jokes about Hollywood. You would probably really enjoy it, just from all of the Hollywood satire and just movie industry stuff that they do. Even from our time being in LA, I think you'll pick up on a lot.
Oh, cool.
But I'm still waiting to see what else. Watching that. The only other thing really I've been rewatching Community, just because
it's a great show.
Sometimes you just want a show to like cruise on your phone to, or turn your brain off a little bit and just enjoy something is great, where you can just peek your eyes up and kind of turn your attention on at any point, and you'll be enjoying what's on screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I know you know this, and we've kind of talked about this before a little bit, but my first exposure to Community, I wanted to watch it for a long time, and my family was out on some football game one Friday night, and I went and bought the used DVDs with like no cover to them from Hastings. Of the first season, and I just wanted, which hurt me because I'm a collector of Blu-rays. I was like, I have no fucking cover, which I threw away later because I just couldn't keep in my collection. But I watched them like the first probably 10 episodes that night, and I was crying. I was laughing so hard.
It's just so
the mascot alone. And if you haven't watched
human beings,
the human beings. And if you haven't watched Community, I implore you to go do it, because you got Dan Harmon, who now, if you've probably heard of Rick and Morty, if you haven't heard of Community, and he is the guy who created both shows. And you had like the Russo brothers kind of getting not their feet wet, but they had a big contribution to the show, which you are Avengers fame now.
Absolutely. I mean, and then some fantastic spoof episodes that they do,
like Die Hard.
And then the the paintball episodes are legendary.
They're great.
The theme episodes are just they're so perfect. They're so well written. The humor is so quick. Like you can just miss jokes because they'll just come and go, especially like with Troy.
Yeah.
Donald Glover's character. But man, so enjoying Community, and as I always will, I will watch that show for the rest of my life and probably continue to enjoy it equally.
Besides The Outsider and Picard, which we'll get to later, what else are you watching?
I caught up on Spider-Man Far From Home, which we'll talk about in our Babycast promo that is already out, actually, by the time you're watching this. So go back and watch it. See my late thoughts on Spider-Man Far From Home. And that's been about it. I've been playing. I'm on my third playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, so I'm still playing that. And just kind of waiting, I guess, on the bigger things that are still to come this year.
Right. And we'll get into all those bigger things later in the episode. As far as me, man, I'm watching like 5 different shows right now. I'm kind of bouncing everywhere. I'm watching True Detective Season 3 on HBO. I'm watching Mindhunter Season 2 on Netflix.
You still haven't finished Mindhunter Season 2, right?
No, I'm getting close to almost the halfway point.
Are you watching that with Katie?
No, girlfriend? I'm not. No, I'm watching, I'm not watching True Detective with her either. We did just start Mad Men this last weekend, and she is hooked.
For her first viewing?
And I've only seen the first season.
Oh, that's right. You never finished it. You never got to see the end. Okay.
No, I've only seen the first 2 seasons.
The end is
max.
great. Yeah.
And So like I've seen the first season probably 4 times.
And
no
Katie's
joke.
hooked.
She's hooked, and she was like,
I mean, Don Draper's hot as fuck. So.
yeah. Well, that's not why.
Well, that's what she says.
So last
she
night
says.
she was like, I'm gonna lay down and go to sleep.
That's what I would say.
And I was like, well, do you want me to put on an episode of, or we were watching Mad Men. I was like, well, let me just put this on. You'll fall asleep to it and rewatch it later. She goes, well, if you put it on, then I'm just gonna keep watching it and I won't get to go to sleep. And I was like,
fall asleep to Don Draper.
and I was like, yeah, you're right. So we ended up staying up and watch another episode. So that plus I'm trying to get through Star Wars Rebels, and I'm going to backtrack also to Clone Wars at the same time.
So you're watching both?
I'm kind of bouncing back and forth because I kind of know where everything, obviously goes.
Generally,
so
yeah.
I'm kind of trying to get ready for Clone Wars coming up in February, or I guess end of this month.
Oh,
So
we're in February. That
we're in
is
February.
strange.
Yeah.
Very strange feeling.
But I think that's all the TV shows I'm kind of watching right now, which is a lot. But I'm trying to burn through some stuff.
I'm always bouncing around.
Yeah, I'm doing like one episode here, one episode there. That way I can kind of not keep things. Oh, I'm also watching Westworld. We're like halfway through
that's
Westworld.
right, yeah.
Season
Yeah.
2. It's just that one's kind of hard for me to watch.
How are you feeling? Is season 2 still kind of sour right now for you? Like, has it gotten any better?
Yeah, I mean, it's, season 1 I loved. Like, I was really into the mystery. And while there were things that were kind of like, you could kind of figure it out, it was still fun. And like it, I felt like it was a rewarding show for watching it. Season 2 is just so different. And while there are threads and some things that I'm curious about and see how they're doing, overall so far it's just kind of, I don't know, it's not the direction I don't care about. Dolores gathering a whole bunch of people and basically, I don't know. And granted, there may be a shift later. I kind of think someone or one of my coworkers, Shelby, she mentioned, shout out to Shelby.
Shelby
Patterson.
Schlebby.
And she mentioned that you stick around with it because it'll pick up in the end of the season. But like to me, I'm like, man, that's a lot. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, but just for season 3. But
yeah, it was so strange. I feel like all of the characters got so much less interesting all of a sudden when season 2 started. Like all of these characters that I was at least slightly or even more like to extremes like very invested in.
Right.
Like who's the black guy with the glasses? I love him as an actor.
He's great.
His name.
He's Commissioner Gordon in Batman.
Yeah,
the Batman.
right. The new Batman, right? Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Jeffrey something.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yes.
There you
Okay,
go.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah. I loved him in season 1. I mean, I would say he was the protagonist, other than maybe Dolores of season 1. He was
great.
the shared protagonist. And then all of a sudden, when I was watching, I only got about 2 episodes into season 2 of Westworld.
You never finished it.
No.
Oh,
I
wow.
just was like, this is really boring. I don't care about him anymore. Like what? I didn't even like try to process what happened. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna move on because the reality is there's too many good things to watch. I don't have time for the bad things.
I think
even the mediocre.
I think the issue with season 2 is that while season 1 had like this, you have multiple narratives going on, but they were all different and they all had like their own goals. In season 2, almost everybody is kind of you're either trying to survive the change in the whatever they're called, I said replicants,
the rebellion,
and the androids, I guess, or the host. Sorry. So you have either people trying to survive the host or the people trying to get out and or kill the humans. So it's like that's just not as interesting as Dolores trying to become sentient and James Marsden doing his thing and the Man in Black doing his, and
no, that's very true. They went from a very nuanced like grayish, intricate plot to kind of like these guys hate these guys. Who's going to win?
Yeah, and that's not interesting to me.
No, I agree. Yeah,
at all. And that's kind of it as far as what I'm watching. And if you guys are watching something cool or something we haven't talked about, let us know, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. Or may check it out ourselves.
Again, there's so many good things to watch.
There really
so much
is.
on
There's
Netflix,
so much.
on Hulu, on Amazon Prime. So if you know of a hidden gem, write into the show at 241mail. That's 241.mail/ oh shit. No, it's not in it. It's bit.ly/241. See, this is how tired I am.
There you go.
I'm mixing up the Bitly links. It does.
Speaking of tired, and we're all tired after the weekend because we had the Super Bowl TV spots. Or Super Bowl, sorry. That's what
that's true. That's the only thing that really went on.
That's what my weekend was.
Yeah,
fun. There was also a Super Bowl attached to that, but I didn't watch that.
I didn't watch that either.
I just watched the trailers as they come out.
Were you watching it live? And then
no, I was at I was going to watch Super Bowl, but my buddy we celebrated his birthday instead, and so I ended up hanging out with.
Use of time.
Yeah, so I ended up barbecuing, for different reasons. And I would, as a trailer would come out, I'd say, guys, pause it. We'd turn on YouTube and I'd say, watch that trailer. We'd watch it, and then we'd go back to what we were doing. So
That's really funny.
That's my Super Bowl.
It's a good tradition.
Yeah. So, a few recap real quick. Well, first we'll talk about just a few of the commercials that I liked. And we work at a marketing agency, right? Agency 501 in Little Rock, Arkansas. And so I just kind of want to talk real quick about some of these commercials that kind of, some of them hit and some of them miss.
Because since we work at a marketing agency, we are marketing professionals.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically.
Right? Yeah.
I guess we know what we're talking about.
We are getting paid, I guess.
It's
to
from
market.
our title determines that we're smart. So
to get into that, and then after that, we'll kind of segue into the actual movie trailers, which is kind of more of our bread and butter, right? But real quick, and I sent a few trailers to Daniel before the podcast, so we can kind of talk about a few things. What about the baby peanut thing?
See, I thought they canceled that because of Kobe Bryant, R.I.P.
Oh yeah. Was he?
And so that was really confusing. No, the whole marketing campaign of them killing Mr. Peanut, like Mr. Peanut dying.
Yeah.
I thought it got straight up canceled because of everything that happened with Kobe last week. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is strange.
It was cool seeing the Kool-Aid Man. Like the Kool-Aid Man gives birth to Baby Peanut.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It was, I mean, it was fine. It was a commercial.
Yeah. Now, it was
just like,
my favorite.
I don't love peanuts.
Right, exactly.
I don't love Kool-Aid.
Let's get to the better one. So the next one,
please.
My favorite, and it's probably not your favorite, my favorite was the Groundhog Day Jeep commercial with Bill Murray.
Yeah, it was fun.
You watched Groundhog Day?
I did. No, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, every February 2nd, which I didn't yesterday, or I didn't on February 2nd this year, but I always watch Groundhog Day every morning. It's also my dad's birthday, so it was always like a tradition. I'd always watch it on that day. And it was really cool seeing Bill Murray come back because he's kind of notorious for like not wanting to reprise characters. Ghostbusters 2 is one of the few characters he has reprised besides Zombieland.
It's about to happen again too.
It's fixing to happen again with Ghostbusters Afterlife.
What in the world?
Yeah. So I thought it was great. You got some of the really great use of the
it was
property.
fun humor, to subvert the expectations that movie presented. With the humor there. Yeah, it was fun. So it was a fun commercial.
And the one I thought was really good was the Bryan Cranston Mountain Dew commercial. I got a question. Do you care about you? You want to drink Mountain Dew? Because
no, I don't like Mountain Dew. Really, it's way too sugary.
Really,
like as soon as I drink it, I'm like,
do you like Game Fuel?
No,
really?
I don't even know what that is. The title alone.
It's the Mountain.
Game
it's like
Fuel.
Well, I think the first time it came out was Halo 3. And I think it was 2006 or 7 or something.
Did it come with a bag of Doritos?
It didn't come with it, but they were also cross promoting with Doritos, though, of course. But that was Halo 3 Game Fuel, and then now every big game every couple of years or every year they'll have a new Game Fuel out for that game. But let's get into the cool stuff. So
please,
the cool stuff. About the Bryan Cranston thing was The Shining. That was
that was fun.
That was cool.
Again, it was a funny, fun.
Have you seen The Shining?
Super Bowl commercial. Yes, that's like my favorite horror film.
Yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, you saw it more than I have. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Have you seen?
I haven't seen Dr. Sleep.
Oh man, I watched it. Good? Yeah, it really is. There's a 3-hour director's cut now, and I would really like to watch it. But the movie is it's a great sequel and it's a great homage to that one at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super into anything Obi-Wan Kenobi's in.
It's good, man. It's great. I thought it was a good ending. Everything about it, I was pretty much there for. Super Bowl, we had commercials, of course, and we had other things happening, people throwing balls and shit. But the cool thing was some of these movie trailers that dropped. Did you watch? Let's kind of run through them quick. Did you watch the Black Widow trailer?
I did.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that?
Looks like more of what we're getting. Yeah,
more of the same, right?
Exactly.
It was cool seeing Taskmaster's powers.
Yeah, we did. I feel like we saw more of him, which was cool.
Did you watch the James Bond one?
I didn't watch that one. No,
I didn't watch it. Well, you still got to watch Spectre, right? You got Skyfall and Spectre.
I did find. Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything since Casino Royale.
Yeah. On a previous podcast, we had some confusion
with the trailers,
right? Yes, the big one for me even after the last podcast aired, the main one. Did you watch the Fast and Furious 9 trailer?
No.
Man, okay. Well, real quick, give me 30 seconds.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. This trailer, I was smiling. The first main trailer that premiered, there was a concert actually, and there was an hour-long concert that led up to the trailer premiere. And then
that's hilarious.
They've never been done before. They had a cast and crew come out.
Never been done before.
It
that's bullshit.
It hasn't. They've never had a concert for a trailer premiere.
I just don't believe that.
No,
That's like the most
trust me.
Hollywood thing I've ever heard.
No, trust me.
Oh,
The
no way.
Fast franchise
Who was
is
it?
innovating.
Was it?
I mean, Tyrese was there, Ludacris was there, John Cena was there.
Oh, see, I was
Vin
thinking
Diesel,
it was,
Michelle
I think it was
Rodriguez.
going to be like Third Eye Blind and
No, it was.
Three Doors
Well, I mean, it was like
Down
Ludacris because they sing songs in the
Yeah, of
franchise.
course it
Yeah,
was.
so
Yeah.
so that was really cool. But the trailer itself, like, it kind of shook the internet because of a few things, and the big one being, and spoilers, is Han coming back, right, from Fast and Furious 3, and he was also in Fast 5, Fast 6, and then I think he was in Fast 7 as well.
Surely he was in 7, right? That was Tokyo Drift. Wasn't 7 Tokyo Drift?
No, 3's Tokyo Drift. The way the timeline
See,
works
I get
out,
my prime
it
number
goes
Fast and Furious movies mixed up.
it goes-
the prime ones are all, I don't know why,
No,
but
it's
like
not- it's-
3,
it's not-
7, 9.
It's not prime. It's just like the way they kind of did it was out of
No, I'm saying
order.
they're prime numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it goes 1, 2,
This guy
4.
doesn't get math jokes.
I don't. It was 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Tokyo, then 8, I believe.
And he started in Tokyo, I would assume.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Wait.
based on racism.
You know what? I can't remember.
So, but he's a
It's
fan
not.
favorite.
It's not. 7 is he goes 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, and 8. That's how it goes. Jason,
Are we talking chronological?
we're talking about chronological.
Oh, I didn't even know that was the conversation we were having.
Yeah, that's the conversation we're having. Yeah, no. Anyway, he's back. He's a fan favorite character. People saw it, and
Did he
had a
die
great time.
last time we saw him?
He died in like the credit stinger of Fast 6.
He died in the credits.
Yes, he mainly dies in Tokyo Drift, and it's revealed he dies in Tokyo Drift. He dies in that movie, but then it's revealed that Fast 5, 6, and 7 take place before 3. So the end of the credits of 6 also basically show you, hey, here is who killed him, and that kind of thing. I gotta get a chart for you.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like we need a chart.
Yeah, we got a chart.
Yeah, better. Yeah,
like one of those time travel timelines.
And you know what? You ripped into The Witcher for having a similar issue, but that made more sense than this does.
It does not at all. That's a totally different thing because that's a
At least
television
Netflix
show.
gave us a chart. There's no chart here.
There's a
Come on,
chart.
Vin Diesel.
Oh, there's a whole video by Ludacris that explains you the timeline.
Is it a music video?
No, it's not
Is
a
he
music video.
rapping it to explaining the
it's not.
timeline?
No,
Because
it's
that
not.
would be the best.
So also we had a trailer for A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first one yet. I really want to.
Wow, yeah. Okay, you would really like that one.
I think so.
It's a really good film. John Krasinski wrote and directed it.
I did know
And
that.
think
Yeah, I
he's
remember we were
back
there
in-
at South by the year premiere, but
Oh, we
couldn't
were, yeah.
get in there.
Yeah. It's a really good movie. So the second one looks great, and I mean, always. a fan
Yeah, I
of
already know the
Blunt.
spoiler at the end, but it's fine.
Yeah, you would know that from watching the trailer for
Yep.
2. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think
I
you'd
saw
know
a
that.
slight teaser and I was like, "Oh, guess John's dead."
Yeah, so
That's
yeah.
obvious, which makes sense too. That he's like, "Well, I now I'm dead. I can just direct. I don't have to
Yeah.
act and direct."
Well, I think
Makes a lot of
before we get to like the Mac Daddy, which is a different level.
Mac Daddy.
Mac Daddy, my favorite film trailer was the Mission Impossible, or not Mission Impossible. Fuck, it was the Top Gun Maverick trailer, and it looks so good. It like the visual stunts behind it, the like Tom Cruise in the cockpit and the way the camera's positioned.
It does look good. Yeah.
God, it looks so good, and I'm just so excited.
I hope the story, and it looks, honestly, the trailers lead me to believe that the story looks good.
It looks good.
It looks personal. It looks real.
Have you ever watched the original Top Gun?
No.
No. Well, I mean,
I'm up for it.
it's definitely a byproduct of its time in some ways, but it's also when you watch it, you can be like, man, I can see how this movie just like showed people's pants off in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like that culture.
The
in that
80s
time.
cool.
Yeah, I mean that's just like every woman in America wanted to see with Tom Cruise that opening weekend. They probably still do that now.
Who doesn't? Yeah, I want to.
But the big cool thing that happened this weekend, for me, in terms of trailers or reveals, is the MCU television.
Yes.
Disney Plus drop, right? And so we got our
Very
first
cool.
looks, footage wise, of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and the smallest of looks of Loki. So how'd you feel about this? It's 30 seconds.
I loved it. Yeah, for 30 seconds, it was very revealing.
It was
A lot of information.
Quick cutting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like anything that we got from from Winter Soldier and the Falcon was anything new. I mean, if that feels pretty straightforward, it's a kind of a government espionage on the run looking kind of situation. Bucky looks good with a haircut. That's
He
nice.
does, yeah, he
Without
looks-
the wig, he
yeah.
finally doesn't have to wear the wig.
Yeah, he
which
probably was like, guys.
I mean, that wig was pretty gnarly.
It made
a few
sense,
shots.
like character wise, like why he would be kind of looking grungier, and like now that he's kind of basically come back, it's like emotionally.
and plus, it just didn't look that great ever.
I liked it.
It looked okay at times. At other times, it looked real wiggy.
You think so?
Real wiggy.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
to me.
I liked it.
To me, I'm a
yeah,
wig
that one-
connoisseur. So.
And that one, I mean, of course, we didn't get a whole lot there, but we got some cool.
No,
visuals.
it's pretty straightforward.
And- but the kind of what we've already known or been confirmed about WandaVision looks like it's going to be a sitcom, like multiversey, or in a multiversey, but like very
just going through different versions of reality.
Yeah. And it was cool seeing her in her classic Scarlet Witch outfit, which looks like it's trying to play off like some type of either, Halloween costume or something like that. Or maybe it's just a sexy time kind of night with Vision and she's wearing that.
Can you imagine Vision being sexy? It's almost hard.
No, dude, look at that. When he's wearing
he's sexy, but his
when
personality
he's
is
wearing
just
those-
very mellow.
when he's wearing those turtlenecks and shit, man,
That's
he
true.
looks hot.
He's turtling right out that neck.
Yeah, there you go. But he has like the black and white segment, like the I Love Lucy, and then the classic sitcom with like the whoop, sound effects and
it looks like there's going to be a lot of opportunity for humor, even in like a serious,
right,
subject line plot wise. I mean, it looks great.
I wonder if it just kind of dawned on me, no pun intended. I wonder if every episode will be a different type of sitcom that reveals more and more about.
I don't know.
You think it will jump back per episode? Like you think?
I almost doubt it. I almost think what we're seeing is within the first like 30 minutes of the show. And they're barely. I could see it that they're barely revealing anything to us.
I could also
could
also see them saying, "Hey, this show's about like this sitcom kind of thing," and then it like the first episode
it just spins way off.
but then it's like that's not that at all. We just lied to you because Marvel's notorious for doing that.
Exactly. Or who knows? What if one of those aren't actually in the show? Like one of those like little moments.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because it flashes through a bunch of different costumes for Wanda.
Yeah.
At the end, I do think, and it looks like even from this teaser, we're really gonna get to see Elizabeth Olsen's acting chops flexed.
Right. Yeah, and she's a good actress.
Exactly. Now I'm excited about that because I think we obviously get the most from her from Infinity Endgame,
right?
Infinity War and
Infinity
Endgame,
Game
just because
Endgame.
She loses the most. She has some of the most screen time of her character, from an ensemble movie.
Right.
So I'm just excited to see where they can go with that and to make her more and more interesting. Because I did feel like felt like a little bit like the slapped on Avenger after Age of Ultron. Where then she's just around, and then she has like a couple of moments in Civil War. Obviously, the main one with Vision.
Yeah, of course. It's interesting. She doesn't get I think the things I like about her the most are probably in the Civil War in the beginning, but then mainly also in Infinity War. Whenever
exactly,
her and their relationship, just like the way I think it's just cinematography and all, but like them in where they were at Paris or whatever. Like that was beautiful.
I think it was not Paris, but that's okay.
Yeah, it might have been some other foreign Italy.
It is in Europe, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't foreign know. Italy something.
I don't know. But that's the best stuff for that for sure. One thing that was cool though, and if you catch it real quick glimpse, and to kind of go back to the Falcon Winter Soldier, is you see U.S. agent with the shield running through basically like a halftime Super Bowl kind of show.
Oh, really?
And it's like it's definitely like, oh, here's our Captain America, and here's our
I didn't catch that. That's cool.
It's like literally an eighth of a second shot of him running, and you wouldn't know it's him unless you like freeze frame it. But it's it's kind of just showing you again the government versus, or maybe the our expectations of what Captain America could be, the government, the people, and that kind of stuff. And I'm really wanting to get into that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And then of course we had like one shot of Loki just being Loki, just kind of show you.
So from what I've read, like it looks like he's in time travel jail.
Yes. Right.
And so do you know any of the lore, like comic wise, behind any of that?
No, not at all.
Okay, great. That's all I have from this topic then, because I was totally relying on you to know.
I don't know. I think time travel jail is.
It makes sense.
It's reliant on the filmmakers because that's a very tricky screenwriting thing, as we even learned in Endgame. I don't know. That's interesting, but I do think it's going to give us ample opportunity. I bet there'll be some cool surprises of people popping up in that.
Well, yeah, didn't we just see, wasn't it today or that like Owen Wilson got
Oh, yeah,
confirmed
exactly,
for a major
yeah.
role.
That's a cool. Like
in
that's
that.
a fun.
Has he had a cameo in the Marvel movies yet? I
No, he
almost
hasn't.
feel like he had. But
no, we had Matt
maybe I'm just
Damon.
thinking like John C. Reilly and Matt Damon.
Yeah, we had Matt Damon in Ragnarok. One thing that was also I saw that was kind of cool was, we talked about Wanda Maximoff, right? Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Her brother is played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I
He
bet.
died before he could do anything cool.
Yeah, and I bet
R.I.P.
serious money he's gonna be in this show. And apparently, there's
Didn't even
rumor
think
that
about
he's going to
that.
be in the Miss Marvel television show as a different character.
The Miss Marvel, as in like
Miss Marvel,
not Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel
as
is
in what's her name?
she's
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know shit.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan.
Well,
Yeah. So
yeah,
there's something there. I'm not sure if it's alluding to that he's like a different, that resides
different
in-
reality.
Yeah, exactly.
Like where she died and he lived or something.
Something. Yeah, I don't know, but he's playing some. I don't know all the details on that. I have to kind of look into that. But one thing we did learn from this is that kind of the release dates, right? So we
Yes.
Disney Plus, we learned that WandaVision is coming out in
December. Yep.
And we learned that Falcon Winter Soldier is coming out in August,
And in between.
which we reported on last week. And it's funny because like there was multiple sources out there. Some people were saying fall, like December, and we called it August.
Yep.
And then we
and
also
then in between those, we know that Mandalorian season 2.
Mandalorian is also in October.
Yep.
And then Loki is sometime in 2021, along with other various television shows like She-Hulk and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel.
Yeah. And I would assume Loki is early. Like I could see us getting it in February or March.
I can see that being that void for where if we don't have Clone with this last season of Clone Wars and we're done with Mandalorian for a little bit, maybe that might happen, or they may be playing like a juggle with Obi-Wan, like whenever Obi-Wan comes out.
True.
But they're definitely going to be trying to space these apart, enough to kind of keep people interested. Which brings to like their subscriber base, and they announced at their shareholders meeting by Iger that they right now, and we don't know if this includes free trials or not, but as of today or yesterday, they have 26.5 million subscribers, which is pretty good. Like you kind of expect a big influx in the beginning. And then it's a slow, gradual increase, especially as you get more television shows. And of course, you have the big Super Bowl spot
Right.
there. Which there are people like, oh shit, Marvel. Like now people know Marvel's coming.
Yeah. It's such a big number. I have nothing to compare it to. Sure, 26 million. Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're making lots of money. And
Yeah,
they're not going away. There's
they're
no
not-
danger to the service.
No, they're not going away at all. And apparently they're fixing to kind of buff up or revamp Hulu a little bit to kind of make it a little different than Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, and I think I just saw that
it already is kind of different.
the president of Hulu just stepped down
Is that what happened?
after the merger or something recently. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Hulu's one of the worst streaming platforms as right now.
You don't like Hulu?
No, it's the ads are atrocious, and they're not
Yeah.
good with how they are served. They're not smartly served to you.
Gotcha.
And yeah, but it's between that and Amazon Prime, just because the user interface of Amazon Prime is really bad to me.
Gotcha.
Like just trying to navigate and search shows and look for stuff. It just
fix
fix it, Prime.
Prime.
Jeff Bezos. I know you're listening to this. Bald fuck.
Speaking of streaming shows and television things and of that nature, we have a trailer for The Fugitive come out.
I saw you said this to me, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah. You don't have to. If you've seen the movie with Richard Kimball with Harrison Ford, or at least know anything about it, then you know that it's being made into a television show.
Yeah,
which kind of,
it's one of my favorite Harrison Ford movies.
oh, it's so good, and which
Yeah.
kind of brings me to this question of, it was originally, if you don't even know this, but The Fugitive the movie is based off a television show.
I thought it was based on a book.
It's based on maybe both, but I know there's a television show in like the 80s or 90s that the movie was basically come out after that. And then now we're back to a television show, right? So that's a case where there's a TV show or a book TV show, the movie, the TV show. But things like Jack Ryan, where we have books, movies, and then now a television show, or Jack Reacher, we have movies and now a television show coming out pretty soon. How do you feel about these movies? Basically, when they get rebooted, remade, they're going to the silver screen versus or the small screen versus continue with the franchise, whatever. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, does it matter to you? Do you want them to stay as films? I guess if it's good content, it's good content, or does it kind of make it feel smaller if it's on TV?
It depends on who and how they do it, right? I mean, Watchmen on HBO didn't feel smaller.
It
to
didn't.
me.
You're right. That's a great example.
The Mandalorian made Star Wars feel bigger than some of the movies have of late, right? I think there's such a blurred line between what is the quality or the substantive difference other than minutes of length between the highest quality of TV and the highest quality of cinema.
Yeah.
Like there's I don't know if you can mathematically devise them. Like it used to be that there was just so much more money in cinema. So like they had better cameras and they could hire better actors and they could do all this kind of stuff that now TV can do that maybe more. A solid TV season may get a bigger budget than a solid movie pitch. I'm not sure the dynamics of how that's working these days.
It's definitely changing.
I feel like you could be more lucrative potentially with a really solid TV show because it has more natural, like a season of TV naturally leads into season 2 more than a movie leads into a sequel. Now we live in the day of sequels, but I mean, I don't care. I don't care what the format is as much as I'm concerned with the quality of the substance. And like I said, I love The Fugitive, the movie with Harrison Ford. It's maybe one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Harrison Ford movies. It may be like my favorite, just like action movie from him. That's not like a character action film, but like like something like Indiana Jones or something.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Indiana Jones, let's fix and lead right into that.
I know. We'll see.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy just come out and said that, hey,
she who will not be named.
Right. Harrison Ford is ready to go. He's excited for the 5th film. Supposedly production.
I just don't believe that.
I mean, production.
I think he's excited about the zeros on the check.
Is that what you think? But I mean, the thing is, he
don't
didn't have to come back for Star Wars. He didn't have to come back for anything. And he got, he's made tons of money his whole career. I don't think he needs it. I think he's doing it because he genuinely wants to now. I think Force Awakens because he wanted to, but I think Rise of Skywalker was a favorite of JJ and kind of like it makes sense to kind of close this out for the character for at least for Ben Solo.
See, Harrison Ford has struck me as such a non-sentimental actor. He just doesn't like the fact that he wanted to kill Han one movie into the original trilogy and just he just doesn't have a lot of sentimental. I don't know. He just kind of looks like a guy that treats it like a day job and
I think he
cut
also
and dry. And
but I mean, look at this too, though.
Like.
I mean, he went back and he's reprised his role for Star Wars. He did Blade Runner. 20, 30 years, and that movie, the first one was not a success.
But all for huge paychecks.
Yeah, no, all
of them were for huge paychecks.
You're not wrong, but I think while he is interesting to watch in interviews and it might be kind of harder to peg, I think that he's someone who will show up if the story and character demands it. And yes, of course, it gets paid. Harrison Ford is not. He's always made generally pretty decent movies and pretty good character movies, and of course, he has the oddball here
for the most part. Yeah.
I would agree with that. All actors do, but I think he wants to do it. I mean, I know it's just his comments are like, well, what happens when, are they going to reboot, or reboot the show or whatever with the new Indiana Jones? And he's always like, I'm Indiana Jones. He said that recently with the same thing. Like, I'm Indiana Jones. Whenever I die, Indiana Jones dies.
I did.
That's what he says. And so
quote,
he seems kind of possessive of the character, at least a little bit from his comments. And I feel like he, especially maybe after the I would say less than lukewarm reception of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I think him and both Steven kind of want to come back and redeem themselves. They have David Cap coming back who did pin Crystal Skull. He's going to pin this one.
It's not a great resume so far.
But David Cap, he has written like Jurassic Park, and he's
which one? The first one.
The first one.
Okay.
So he's got some good credentials.
Yeah.
He's got a lot. He Mission Impossible 1, and some of these other
a decent action movie.
Yeah, that you haven't seen.
I have seen.
You've seen Mission Impossible?
Yes.
Whatever.
I don't care enough to lie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't care.
Well, that's enough movie talk. Let's get into The Outsider. So The Outsider, HBO, we're episode 5, I believe. How'd you feel about this?
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it.
I'm trying to recall the events, and maybe that's a slight of it, I guess, is that it felt maybe it's still continued to be a little slower.
It's very much removing the pieces into like and they kind of teased it in this next episode is like she's finally back in the town and she's going to try to basically pitch this is what's happening.
Right.
And that seems like to me the interesting part will be like that initial
getting these ordinary people to believe in a monster.
Yeah, that, and then to me the more interesting thing is how we're going to stop that, because that's always going to
Yes,
come. We don't
sure.
believe you.
How are they going to kill the
blah.
monster?
Exactly. And I think kind of getting there has been a little slow, but at least we've learned. We've gotten some more. It's so well made. You kind of have to forgive some of its shortcomings.
And honestly, I don't know if they're shortcomings as much as they're just stylistic choices.
I'll give you that.
It's a slow paced, moody show, and really wants to absorb like the mood of like dread and anguish. I would say like this movie's about like this show is a lot about like anguish and just pain, and that's obviously the monster basically feeds off that is what we're learning so far. But even just the way it presents its scary moments, right? Where in this past episode where the creature, the doppelganger, whatever you want to call it, we don't really have a solidified name yet. The Cuco, maybe, or whatever that name is.
Cucoloris.
No, that's not it. But he comes to the detective's wife at night, and
which is interesting. Why didn't you go to the detective? Are you kind of afraid of the detective?
Yeah, it does seem like he's keeps going to everyone but him in an interesting way. That maybe I'm sure that will come up in a certain way somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was, it was a dreadful scene. Like it was like an intense moment, and you were just kind of like horrified. You weren't like afraid that she was going to die, but you were still just like kind of sitting almost in this moment in like you were just waiting in this moment, like just to see what would happen and what he would say. He spoke. We heard a voice,
right?
And to me, these are just it's a different way to do a mystery, and I feel like they're doing it very well, and I'm really enjoying the mood they're presenting every time.
Yeah.
I do think the first 2 episodes may have shortchanged it a little bit just because it set a standard for a pacing that it kind of gives up. There's just a lot of plot those first 2 episodes, and then it slows down. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I'm enjoying it. Same thing. Actually, I kind of had like the adverse reaction initially on the first episode. I was like, man, this show, the first half of it, I was like, this is so long. Like, I felt like it was really dragging.
The first half of this episode?
The first half of the first episode. And then like it kind of picked up though the second half, and then the first half of episode 2, I was like, whoa, I'm in. And then I think it really changed for me pacing wise altogether when Bateman dies. And then, of course, we're kind of, we're getting new characters, we're getting more mystery and that kind of stuff. I'm in. I'm always going to be in for that kind of thing, and it's so well made. Like I'm hooked, and Katie's into it.
The cinematography, the acting,
it's so well. I love
HBO.
Like one thing I keep thinking is like we kind of talked about it last week. If it is an anthology show where like they have different monsters, same universe or whatever, I'm like, man, I really want Ben Mendelsohn to kind of continue on because like
he's really good. Yeah.
I just love him as an actor, and it's so cool seeing him play such a different role. He's always playing the mustache twirling villain, and or these big blockbuster films. This one's like a cool one just to kind of see him just stare off at things, and I like that.
Yeah, he plays a really good kind of tortured soul.
He really does.
That is like he does like just those moments where he's either having with the therapist or the different characters where he's just in situations he doesn't want to be in, and he's like trying to get through these conversations no one wants to have. He plays it so well. Yeah. I've been really enjoying it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of tortured souls, we have Picard. Do you like that one?
We
have Picard.
You're just like sitting there like, where can I pull a reference out?
Yeah,
of?
exactly. So we have Picard, right?
Yeah.
And he's haunted by his demons, from episode 1. And I watched the episode, and I probably was 80% paying attention because I had other things going on at the moment, but I was still really enjoying it. But what did you? I feel like your opinion will really enforce my opinion. So how did you feel about it?
See, episode 2, I was a little less up on. I think it was just it was a lot of conversations. That whole show, that whole episode, the plot was given through conversations.
It was,
and that really slowed me down. And it was, I don't know, they weren't that great of conversations to me.
There was a lot of mumbo jumbo. Of course, it's Star Trek and science fiction.
That part's fine to me. It was more of like the kind of cliche emotional peaks of the show, where it was like the Admiral and Picard.
Thought that was kind of weird, actually,
where she like yells at him and says he has hubris, which, yeah, that whole scene just felt a little odd to me. Like, it felt odd to me that Picard, I guess, would assume he could just walk back in there and they give him a ship and a crew. But it also felt weird for her to respond like that. It just, I don't know, that just didn't play.
I don't know. I kind of
great
like
for me.
The opposite thing for me was like, I guess they were really upset that he said that about the Starfleet, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like his opinions were correct, and I guess we're supposed to be aligned with him and feel his frustrations, for at least for the most part. But I don't know. It kind of felt weird, and I don't really. know how
Yeah,
I felt.
it just didn't play very well to me. And there just wasn't a lot happening. I was kind of
wasn't.
waiting for more. Like this episode really felt like it was setting up a lot.
It does. I think the thing that was interesting to me was the Borg stuff, just because I like
It
seeing
was
them
cool.
there.
That was definitely the coolest part. It was a little gory, which was fun.
Yeah, I thought that was like I was like, ooh, I'm kind of.
I mean, the
interested.
Borg are the most interesting villain of the Star Trek universe.
Have we ever?
easily.
One question I had for you:
Mm.
Have we ever seen the Borg with that piece off before?
I want to say we have. It's never been that gory from my recollection because so 7 of 9, who's a character from Voyager who was a Borg that they rescued and were able to sever from the collective. She will be in and she's going to be in Picard. That was one of the big reveals in one of the early teasers. And she's great. She kind of helped save Voyager in some ways. It wasn't doing very well, so they added her to the mix.
Gotcha.
So they rescue her, and she has some of the same implants. And even when Picard is assimilated and then rescued in TNG, he has some implants that they have to take off him. But I don't. 7 of 9 has this like eyebrow looking implant over her eye is like remnants of her Borg animatromony stuff.
Animatromony.
So yeah, I don't know if the gore is consistent with lore. It's fine.
I guess one thing, and again, I was 80% in, so 20% I was kind of lost. Was the main plot, like the subplot there, are they basically taking the Borg and like trying to take the Borg out of the Borg, so to speak? Like free
I'm
them
a little
from
confused.
From
I don't
AI
think
or
so. Like to me, it seemed like they were more like they were like. It didn't seem like they were being that nice to me, like trying to save these beings from being Borg. It seemed to me more they were like trying to harvest the Borg technology.
Were they saying that a specific species, more so than like maybe say 90% of this species makes up the Borg, and like that's kind of where you know what I'm saying? I feel like they seem like a lot of people, but like you know what I'm saying? It seems like this species had a name. Like no, they're called the Nameless, and I'm like. Is that all the Borg? Like, are all the Borg the species typically, or are they just like
the Borg are any species they come across?
That's what I was kind of wondering because this hit a simu. You know,
I mean, we've always seen them mostly being human because
it's a TV show.
Exactly, and it's easiest to make humanoid creatures than things that look elsewhere. Yeah,
cool. So, what do you need for this episode to pick up?
For the future, I mean, obviously this one left us. He kind of goes to that lady in the outback. Oh, the other part I really didn't enjoy was that kind of like evil monologue moment with that like or I guess she's a Romulan lady that we are obviously told, oh, she's the big bad, at least at first.
She was twirling the mustache,
Yeah, it was just exactly. It was just a twirly the mustache moment. I'm just like, I don't know. This isn't that interesting. Like I don't know. I'm just hoping it doesn't devolve into more of those like black and white. Here's an evil person that's evil because here's the good guy who's good because and. One of them's going to win, obviously, the good guy. Yeah, so I'm ready for us to get in space. It seems like we're going to get there next episode.
It seems like next episode he's going to get a ship, get a crew, and kind of push things forward a little bit. So, I'm in for that.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, too, it was just like the pace of the first episode was so rapid. This one slowed down so much. Like, I was expecting us to get to the Borg cube with Picard maybe this episode.
Oh, really? Wow, yeah.
And we just never got off the planet.
Definitely now, based on how it's happened, I feel like that's going to be like a last 2 episodes kind of thing.
You're probably right. I don't know. It depends on what they do with the Borg cube. It depends, like, because they really haven't revealed kind of the mass plot of the bad guys for the show. Like, what are they trying to do? We don't really know yet. And so, it just depends on what that plot is, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Well, speaking of revealing things, once you revealed our comments and questionnaire.
Yeah, we had another
Joel Williams comment.
Joel Williams. Joel Williams,
famous for last week's episode where we found out that he was in Green Lantern and Jonah Hex. And what did he tell us today?
Well, I'm still pulling it up, so kill
some
more time.
So I'm going to kill some more time. I'm excited for Picard, but
this is going bad.
I'm seeing where it's going. I'm always there because I love Star Trek.
Okay, you don't have to kill any more time.
Yeah, I was
you tried to get back on topic on something that you wouldn't have had time to wrap up your thoughts on.
I was trying to segue backwards.
It's okay. It's
segue
here. So he appreciated our love. Well, we appreciate your appreciation for our love.
We love your constant listening and constant feedback. So
we do. You're our listener.
You're our number one.
Let's check in with the listener. And then that's you. So, he just talked a little bit about some of the other movies he's been in. Year One, Straw Dogs, Disaster Movie. That's such a familiar title.
Yeah.
Was that one of those like spoofy like
Yeah,
like
is, yeah.
oh it was it like spoofing like 300 and like all those other bad like
Disaster Movie? No, that's Meet the Spartans.
Meet the
The
Spartans,
Disaster Movie
yeah.
was like it had like just every blockbuster. Like
it was
Pirates
like
of
when
the Caribbean.
Scream they tried to make Scream into like a genre.
Right, you're talking about
Like
Scary Movie.
these kind of movies. They're scary.
Oh yeah, they're just
They were
straight
taking
up.
Scary Movie and like I guess Scary Movie was Scary
Yeah.
Movie and turning into a genre.
Right, yeah.
And it was very short lived.
Yeah,
But it was an interesting time because I was like in college and I was like, what the fuck are these
I loved
stupid
them.
ass cheap
Yeah,
movies?
year
They
one
were so
is
cheap.
Year one is Jack Black. Straw Dogs.
Oh,
I think
year
that.
one.
Yeah, I think Straw Dogs.
Year one was the caveman.
Yeah, and I think Straw Dogs. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's James Marsden. It could that or Christian Bale. I can't remember, but they're in
Either
that
one.
I think it's James Marsden. What else he's been in?
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter,
Fuck
which I
yeah.
never saw.
Dude,
it
it's
looked
actually
good.
that's a fun movie.
It looks fun. It looked
It's
great.
good. It's like by the title.
It was from the same people that made Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, right?
Did that return to a movie?
Yeah, that was a
Did
movie.
it? Oh, I
I'm
don't know.
fairly positive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the everything about that movie is fucking. I want to watch that tonight. That movie's cool. Actually.
He was also in 7 Pounds, which is a
Wow,
nice Will
with
Smith
Will
one. I
Smith.
hope you got his autograph. If not,
I've never seen that one.
I wouldn't have brought it up.
A movie I haven't seen. There you go.
It's good. It's not as good to me as Pursuit of Happiness.
Can't be.
It's very similar. Like they're trying to pull the same heartstrings.
Of course.
Trimme. I
can't
don't
think
know
of
that one, Joel. I'm
What else
sorry.
we got? I don't
And
know that
then
one,
The
sorry.
Price is Right, and he got us a link to that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, The Price is Right is the most interesting out of all of those. But yeah.
Well, Joe, keep writing in.
Yes.
Keep.
And if you have also been in movies and want to write into us, and let us talk about them, you can, and we'll talk about them.
And where at Daniel?
bit.ly/241mail.
There you go.
And it's probably floating on screen like one of those old DVD screensavers right now.
Hopefully it is. Maybe it's right here right now.
It's not. It's not
not-
there.
it's not
I've just
there?
made sure.
Okay. You could write us in there. Bit.ly or
bit.ly
that one.
/241mail.
There you go. And if you want to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, you can find us at Podcast 241.
Yes, you
There's
can.
also a rival Podcast 241, so don't like his page.
Yeah, but he was nice. He reached out.
He was really nice.
You're a
He reached
nice
out to-
dude, but also we're going to destroy you with
Yeah.
our millions of followers and
Yeah,
fan
it's just a
pages,
matter of
so.
time.
Once our toxic fan base gets a hold of you, because I mean we have a big fan base. Obviously, part of it's going to be toxic.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Of course, you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
I am the toxic
and
fan
you,
base.
and you can listen to us on iTunes and all your other podcast devices that you like. And if you happen to find one of those platforms, please leave us a review.
5 stars.
Give us 5 stars. Leave a comment. Create a discussion. We're here to talk to you guys. I think we did it.
I think we did it too.
Yeah, quick-
in record time.
A shorter,
Not
not
close.
record, but a shorter episode this week. And we'll be back next week to talk more about Picard and some other cool things that you guys
Hell yeah.
are interested in. So,
Hell yeah.
my name is Donovan Thompson,
And I am Daniel Wingfield.
and we have spoken.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.